Before looking specifically at the various services for decoupling, it might be best for me to make sure we're all on the same page with what is meant by decoupling. Decoupling refers to components remaining autonomous and unaware of each other as they complete their work as part of a larger system. This can be used to describe components within a simple application or can be applied at a much larger scale. Additionally, it's important that you understand and can distinguish between two decoupling techniques, synchronous and asynchronous integration. Synchronous decoupling generally involves at least two components. Both must always be available in order for things to function properly. An example could be using elastic load balancing to distribute traffic between instances across multiple availability zones. The instances are unaware of each other and do not depend on each other, but for this to properly function, you'd need to have at least one instance in each of the applicable availability zones. All of the instances are doing the same type of work, but they're doing it independently and generally do not need to communicate with each other. As long as the load balancer and the instances are both running, functionality will continue as expected. With asynchronous decoupling, there is crosstalk between the components and mechanisms that are in place so that communication between components can still be achieved even if one goes down. An example of this could be an architecture where instances are all processing messages and had a queue, such as Amazon Simple Queue Service, handling the messaging between the instances. If one of the instances was to go offline, the messages would persist until an instance was available to retrieve the message. The other area I want to bring up with regards to decoupling mechanisms is the use of AWS services. You will encounter many scenarios in which the solution will involve the implementation of services to add or improve decoupling for the architecture. Knowing how to utilize decoupling services will be incredibly important. The use of tools such as the ELB discussed earlier, or even handling more complicated builds with Amazon Event Bridge will be important to solving the examples you will be presented with. Additionally, you'll need to understand how to utilize serverless tools in AWS to build and improve decoupling mechanisms. What are the ways you can deploy SQS, Amazon API Gateway, Amazon DynamoDB, and the many other services within the serverless toolkit? Understanding how to implement these tools will not only help you to build flexibility and decoupling capabilities into your architectures, but it will help you greatly in determining which responses will work and will work best. Knowing the textbook definitions and methodologies of decoupling will only get you so far. It's important that you learn about how the serverless and decoupling services can be used to build and improve the functionality of both your architectures and the scenarios presented on the exam. Evaluate the needs from the questions, and by understanding how the services work, know what will be best for the various implementations you encounter. Until next time.